This case has been submitted for evaluation for two things. One is the implant plan, and number two would be the nerve location. So I went ahead and duplicated the plan so I can make some changes. And quite honestly, the plan is pretty darn good. If I were to critique the plan, the only thing I would probably critique on it, well, the two things, one minor and one little bit more than minor, is I would probably critique that my occlusal plane is going a little bit up more than I like it, so I would probably just adjust this plan like so and center that back up. But that's a minor critique. The bigger critique that I would have in this case is something I see very common in immediate placements and more importantly retained primary teeth. Now if we remember, there's active eruption and altered passive eruption. And what we don't have when we are retaining a primary tooth, as in this case in site number 29, is that the bone has not leveled out. So this bone is actually higher than what it will be when it's finished. So we can often see this as the necks. If we take a look at this a picture of this tooth, if we had that, we would see that the necks of this tooth is not as low or as apical as the adjacent teeth. So one of the things that we have to do in this case is plan this a little bit deeper. So if I were to critique this case, I would tell you that what I see as the bone level here would be something along this line, like so. And based on that, we can already see that our implant is above that bone line. And what I would actually like to see is that implant go down to the bone line. And then on immediate placements in retained primary teeth, I actually like us to see it go below the bone line to simulate and create some recession so that we can get the necks of the teeth more ideal. So this would be the more ideal implant placement here. So here we can take a a comparison of that versus that. And that should give you an idea of, the main thing I would change here. Now the next question certainly is an important question, and that becomes the nerve. Typically, in this situation like this, it's hard to see the nerve. So one of the things that I would do in this case is I would kind of draw my teeth and draw a line here, and I would say that that is the extent of the implant that I would want there. So to do this case, I'd probably drop down to a 10, maybe even a 9 millimeter implant, just to make sure I avoid the nerve. And here we can see the exit of the mental foramen. So, again, I could probably get away with a 10.5 millimeter implant, but that is really getting close in what looks to be an anterior loop here. So in this particular case, I would probably go with a 9 millimeter implant. Doing socket preservation is going to be of no use here because these roots on baby teeth are so diverged that this is essentially a fresh site that we're placing the implant in. So when I'm unable to see my nerve, and even when I go through, because of the medullary cavities, I'm having a hard time seeing it. My guess is going to be that the nerve is right here at the bottom of the medullary cavity. But when I'm having a difficulty seeing the nerve, I don't take any risks with nerves. So my preference is to avoid it. So in this case, I would go to the 9 millimeter implant. Hopefully you find that helpful, and thank you very much.